Hey everyone, this is Kayla Martin Gant. I'm the Continuing Education Coordinator for the Mississippi Library Commission, and this is part 5 of my Social Media for Libraries series. This is all about making it happen in your library. So for this one, I'm going to talk about managing your content, delegating some duties, different tools that you can utilize when you are managing and scheduling all of your posts, and then a few ideas and resources to get you started. So first I want to talk about managing your content, which I'm going to be talking about calendars and schedulers. Social media managers are tools that are designed to help you organize and streamline the whole marketing process. Um, and they do this by doing a variety of things. They can schedule your posts, they can help you create and organize and really beef up your content. But everything that they do allows you to spend more time engaging with your followers one on one, like in real time. And they really free up a lot of your time so that you can interact with people. Some social media managers only handle like one aspect of management. Like there are some tools and programs that are just content schedulers. And then there are some that do multiple services. And again, there are others that are kind of all in one services that handle pretty much everything from scheduling to content creation to analysis and looking at all your metrics and analytics. So it really kind of depends on what you go with. A lot of these managers have free plans. Though I will say a lot of the free plans are a bit limited. However, especially when you're just starting out and figuring out like how all of this works, a lot of the free plans are really all you need. And then keeping that in mind, whenever you do get to the point where you may need more than what the free plan offers, um, first of all, a lot of these social media managers are pretty affordable, and many of them give discounts to nonprofits and other nonprofit adjacent uh, organizations. But also, once you've used the free version successfully and you not only understand how it all works, but you have the numbers and the analytics to show that using this tool and this program has increased your social media interactions, has increased your engagement, and has therefore increased your audience. It's way easier to justify the cost of a bigger, better program. So, really, it can only benefit you to start using one of these free plans that I'm going to talk about in a little bit, for no other reason than to just kind of get the hang of things and see if it can't free up some of your time and make some of this marketing job a little bit easier for you. So what all can they do really quickly? I talked about scheduling and automation. They can also cover your metrics and analytics. They can be general account managers. They can assist you with content curation. And then some of these programs can also assist in social listening and monitoring. And social listening is essentially exactly what it sounds like. It's keeping up with everything that's going on in your industry. It's looking to see what people are saying about your organization. And so there are some programs that cover, only one aspect of these, and there are some programs that cover all aspects of these. So here are 3 examples that are typically like really popular social media content managers for libraries. There's Hootsuite, which all 3 of these, by the way, you essentially, your account comes with one user that can log in and it'll cover 3 social media profiles. So some of them, the paid plans, you can have more than one person log in, and it'll cover more than just 3 profiles. But for the most part, especially, if you're kind of new and you're just starting out, you really only need, one overall user, and you need to cover Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So really any one of these works for that. With Hootsuite's free plan, you get up to 30 queued up posts per profile, and it also offers discounts to nonprofits on their paid versions. For Buffer, you get up to 10 queued posts per profile, but it also offers a 50% discount to nonprofits, both for their publishing features and for their analysis features. Buffer is like probably the most robust of the social media managers, but it also may be a little much for you just starting out. So you're going to want to look into those and see, which ones you're more comfortable with. But the free plan does not come with any major like analysis features as far as, looking into your metrics and looking at your post engagements and all of that. That's a separate thing. And then you have Later, which you still only have, like one user and 3 profiles on that one, but Later is limited to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest. No other social media platforms right now. But I mean, for the most part, like it's pretty much, the same thing. On this one, you get up to 30 queued posts per profile as well. And also their paid plans start at only $8 a month, which is not bad, especially if you use the free version, you really get the hang of it. And then you're not wasting any time, when you get your paid plan, figuring out how to use it. Like you're already jumping in knowing how to use it. So along with your managers, you have content calendars. Content calendars are often features of the management tools, but you can also create your own. You can either create your own totally from scratch, or there are a lot of templates out there. But what a content calendar allows you to do is you can keep up with holidays and anniversaries and any kind of like celebrations that go along with your organization. Like for us, it might be National Library Week, Teen Tech Week, anything like that you can put in there ahead of time, and that way you're not scrambling at the last minute because you forgot. Along with planning, like the pre-planning aspect of it, you can invest time creating quality content, and then you've got the time to proofread it and make sure it's good to go. Again, you're not waiting until the last minute to create things, and you just get more time to make sure that the content you're producing for whatever this particular event or campaign is, make sure it's really, really good quality content. And because of all of this, you can be more ambitious with your social media campaigns. When you're not kind of frantically scrambling around trying to come up with stuff to post for a particular event, you can really, really, get some more ambitious ideas for how you want to advertise for that particular campaign, or how you want to interact with patrons. So content calendars can really, really streamline the marketing process a lot. Not just the way, a scheduler or a general like management tool can, in that it can take some of the grunt work out of your hands, but the content calendar is the major planning aspect. So where do you start with all of this with like a content calendar? First, you need to do an audit of your social networks and your content. See what kind of content you have, what kind of content you don't have, what gets the most interaction, um, see which platforms you really need to be utilizing more. Um, then you choose like where you want to post certain things. You decide what your calendar needs to track. And then you can make a content library. Um, I'll get to this in a minute. But after you create a content library, which is essentially, um, a repository for um, content that you can grab and go to make your posts, you establish kind of a workflow, a timeline of when you want to get this stuff done. You can start crafting your posts, and then you can invite other people, in your team to review what you've got. You can take their feedback into account. You can make adjustments, and then you can start publishing and scheduling. So as far as a content library goes, and really a content calendar in general, like I said, there are a lot of different ways you can do this. A lot of websites have created templates that you can follow. A lot of people recommend using Excel or Google Sheets. And one thing that I can say at least has worked for teams that I've been a part of in the past, and one way that we do things here at MLC is we use Google Calendar, because in Google Calendars you can color code everything, and it's connected, to the whole Google Drive. So that's where you can essentially house your content library, is in the Google Drive. So any graphics you make, any pictures you take, any text that you want to go ahead and like write ahead of time, you can all dump it into your Google Drive. And then if you want, you can attach it directly to the Google Calendar. So that's just like one option that might be the easiest to get everybody on board with, depending on how your library currently functions. Because I know a lot of libraries use Google Drive in general and use like the Google Suite to schedule and plan things for their library, and then some have never touched Google Drive a day in their library life. So it really kind of depends, but that's just one example I wanted to give you of a way that you could create a content calendar and create a content library, and really kind of have those in places that are easy for everybody who is involved to be able to access. So now I want to talk about delegating some of this, because it truly is a group effort. A lot of the issue, I think, with social medias and libraries is that the marketing aspect, especially when it comes to the social media side of marketing, has really kind of taken a back seat in terms of priority. And marketing as a whole, even just the social media aspect, can be a lot of work. It can be very rewarding work. It can have huge payoffs. But if you're going to do it well, then you need to put effort into it. It takes effort, it takes planning, and it takes more than one person, especially if one person already has a full-time job. Then you definitely need to divvy up some of these responsibilities. So if you don't have a marketing team, that's totally okay. Like, you can still be successful at social media marketing for your library, even if you don't have a dedicated person or a dedicated group of people just for marketing. But like I said a minute ago, one person cannot do all of this. You've got to involve other staff, and if you have trustworthy people and your library policies allow you to, your mileage may vary on that, but you could get library volunteers to help you with some of this too. So here are some options where you can share this workload around a little bit. So first of all, assign one person per profile. Here at MLC, we have one person who, when it comes to just the social media aspect of marketing, the social media coordinator handles Facebook. And then she has assigned another person to handle Twitter and another person to handle Instagram. And there are more people for the marketing and PR, area of the Library Commission besides those three, but they're the main ones that handle social media. And with one person on each platform, that makes it a lot easier for the posting on each platform to be more consistent. It makes it a lot more varied in terms of content, because there are certain things that all three platforms are going to post, but there are a lot of things that are really just unique to those particular platforms for the library. Like, we have a lot of Instagram stories that we don't have on Facebook and we don't have on Twitter. And the same is true for the other platforms, because having one person per profile, you get a variety of content that's really interesting depending on, the person who is handling that particular platform, when they, have time to go out and gather more content, so to speak. So really, you get a lot of variety, and you get a lot of interesting things that you wouldn't get if it was just one person in charge of all of these things. And also, like, this gives people a chance to shine on platforms they already know how to use. Don't assign somebody to Twitter who has no idea how Twitter works and who doesn't even like it. Find people's find their comfortable spot and what they're interested in, and then let them go from there. Obviously, you need to have people who are the ones that get the final say and everything. You need to have an approval system, but and not only does this help spread the workload and allow for variety, but it really allows a lot of people to kind of cultivate a presence for your library on social media that is very unique. So really, you can't go wrong here. Also, one option you have is to not only assign a specific profile to a specific person, but you can have someone else entirely be in charge of making graphics, or someone else in charge of taking pictures for whatever it is that they're going to be posting about. Those people don't even have to be in charge of the platforms. If you've got somebody who isn't in charge of a particular social media platform, but is really good in Canva or, another graphics program like that, you can have them help you, make graphics and get all that put together, because that saves everybody loads of time. Same with pictures. If you've got somebody, in your library, and this is also good for volunteers to assist with too. People who are really interested in photography, you can have them take the pictures that you need for, whatever content you're putting out. Because that allows the profile runners more time to engage directly with their audience. It streamlines the whole process, and it allows for the graphics and images to be more consistent in terms of quality and style. So, along with getting a social media manager tool or program, and along with having a content calendar, there are a couple things you need to do periodically. One of them, you need to be having planning sessions. So you and your team, You need to decide on what your monthly goals are, and they don't have to be like super big, broad goals. It's better if they are concrete and small and attainable. So, your monthly goal could be, gain X amount of followers on Twitter, or put out, this much content on this particular platform. Your goals need to be measurable, but you do need to have monthly goals. Because when you don't have goals, you don't really have any particular motivation to do any specific thing. And it's just a lot more beneficial to you to have something to shoot for, even if you don't necessarily reach that. So, in your planning sessions, you need to figure out your monthly goals. You need to brainstorm for posts, for campaigns, whatever it is you want to do. And then you can pare that list down and put it into your content calendar, get your content calendar filled in, get it approved, and then you can assign duties as far as who is in charge of what particular part of this campaign, who is in charge of taking pictures for this, who's in charge of making graphics for that, who's in charge of building this display, who's in charge of creating a survey, or interviewing patrons, and all of that kind of stuff. These sessions are where you're going to figure all of that out. Now, on top of the planning sessions, you need to be having strategy sessions. These typically come at the end of a particular part of time. So let's just say, for example, at the beginning of the month for the next month, you might have your planning session. So like if you're planning for the month of October, you might want to have your planning session like the beginning of September. And your strategy session for October would be like at the beginning of November. Because you need time to plan and figure all this stuff out and make all this stuff, and workshop things you need to workshop. And then you also want to have these strategy sessions so that you can look at the monthly analytics. You can evaluate what worked and what didn't. You can discuss if you want to repurpose something, or if you want to just scrap something and be like, nah, we're not messing with that anymore. And then to, tweak what you've been doing. Adjust your approach, figure out, where you can make changes and improvements. And so that would be, at the end of whatever period, let's just call it a content period. So you need to be having planning sessions, and you need to be having strategy sessions to figure out what worked, what didn't, what you can fix, what you need to get rid of, and then you do it all over again. Okay, so now I want to go over some tools that are really going to help you when it comes to creating all of your content. So first I want to go over some stock content resources for you. We've got stock video, stock photos, and stock audio. All of these links that I've provided for you have free things for you to download. They're not only royalty free, but they are free for you to download and keep. A couple of them, like Free Music Archive and Purple Planet, have a little bit of limitation when it comes to some of the licensing. So just look on their frequently asked questions and look at their licensing agreements and everything before you download and use a piece of music. But by and large, any of the music or sound that you're going to want to use from them, you won't really have an issue with. And a lot of these sites have, they cover multiple areas of this. Like Pexels has audio, photos, and video. Life of Vids also has Life of Pix. Pixabay also has video, photos, and audio. A lot of these kind of cover a lot of different ground. I think Cover also has multiple areas. So really just look on there. and see, which ones have what you need, because some of them might have similar content, because some of the content producers may have uploaded to both sites, but you're going to get a really wide variety uh, of stock content from a lot of these websites, especially if you go to Gratisography. Um, that's a guy who offers free stock photo content for people, and he kind of specializes in weird, whimsical stock photos. So if you're looking for something particularly interesting, check with him first. In the resource links that I'm going to provide, I'll give you guys a couple of more links on top of these right here as well, including Gratisography, and then there's a few others that I'm going to link you to. So now we have some photo and video editing programs and software. First, the Perfect Video app. It's only available on the Apple Store right now, but if you do have an iPhone or you're using an iPad to do things, you can really utilize this little app. You can use it very quickly. Basically, it just like cuts together photos and a little bit of audio, or maybe like really short video clips into a longer video, and it'll give you audio that you can put over it, and it provides like different sound effects and different text effects, and it's just a really quick way to get a cute video out there. The Layout app goes along with Instagram. It is one of the most well-known like Instagram adjacent apps. It goes right along with it, and it is for photo collages and like to help you with your Instagram layouts. You have Audacity, which is a free open source audio editing software. Most of you are probably familiar with it or have at least heard of it, and they provide guides for you to get started working with it, and it's pretty intuitive. It's pretty easy to use. OpenShot is also a free video editing software, or a video editing program. You can just download it right to your computer. It's also fairly easy to use. Neither of those two are going to be quite as easy to use as like iMovie, which I've got up there next, or the Windows equivalent, which if you have Windows 10, it's like the photo editor, but it also lets you do video projects. Those are really super easy and simple to use, but OpenShot and Audacity and other programs and software like that are typically going to have more options than iMovie and the Windows apps will. So whenever you're just getting started, iMovie and like whatever comes on your computer is probably going to be fine. But whenever you get a little more used to it and you get more into making your videos and making your content, especially if you really want to like make some really fun promotions and advertisement and all that, you want to start looking into Audacity and OpenShot, and other programs like those to really kind of give your stuff a professional, a kind of theatrical feel. And then you have PicCollage, which also helps with a lot of like Instagram layouts. You can use it for more than Instagram, but people primarily do use it for Instagram for like different collages and different photo layouts. Now here are some free design programs. Canva is pretty much like the mother of all design programs, to me at least, when it comes to libraries, because it's a really aesthetically pleasing, very easy to use, easy to navigate website that comes with a lot of pre-made templates and stuff, so like really get you started hitting the ground running. You can edit pretty much anything. You can start totally from scratch. You can do kind of whatever you want with it, and it's got a very large content library. And also, like it has a lot of templates already available. So when it comes to making an Instagram post, an Instagram story, Facebook cover photo, Twitter cover photo, um, for like blog posts and blog headers and newsletters and YouTube thumbnails. I mean, pretty much anything you can think of that you would need for that and that you would need to like personalize and have your library's brand on, they've got you covered on top of your typical flyers and all of that kind of stuff. And again, like it's very, very easy to use. Um, and also, I believe Canva Pro, which has even more stuff. I believe Canva Pro is free for libraries. Um, so, I mean, like even if you didn't have Pro, you'd be set. But with Pro, you get even more available like content and design elements that you wouldn't have with the free version. So you really cannot go wrong there. Adobe Spark is part of the Adobe suite, and it's got a very limited free version that allows you to create short videos, create a lot of different social graphics, create stuff for your web pages. And again, like I said, the free version is pretty limited, but it's still definitely worth checking out. When it comes to photo editing and photo manipulation, you're probably going to want to go with GIMP. That is a free open source, basically a free open source version of Photoshop. It's less pretty and less intuitive and easy to navigate necessarily, which is something that goes along with being open source. And being free to the public. You can't quite have all of that, but it's very, very useful. And it's definitely a good thing to learn because even if you don't feel it's necessary for your like social media graphic design, you can definitely use it for stuff for programming. Eventually, once you get the hang of the program, you can definitely use it for a lot of your social media design, your different graphics and your videos and all of that. And it comes with lots and lots of tutorials that are on YouTube. So that's definitely something to look into. Also, Pictochart is one of a few that I'm going to link you guys to in the resource guide. And it is for creating infographics. There's also they also have a free version that is limited more so than their paid version. But a lot of these have maybe like discounts for educators or for nonprofits that you can look into and you can talk to their team about. But a lot of their infographic layouts are very, very cool. And infographics are something that I think a lot of libraries like really need to be investing more in because they are ideal for sharing and for engagement and for getting a lot of information to people very, very quickly. So that's another one that you want to look into. And these are just some additional tools. There's Bitly, which is a link shortener, which, like I said in my last video, you're going to want to utilize a lot for Twitter. There's Kapwing, which is free and I mean has a multitude of tools when it comes to photo editing, video editing, audio editing, doing all kinds of different things with whatever media you've got that you're trying to mess with. You can do a lot with Kapwing. Really, its only like limitation as far as its free version compared to the upgraded versions are like I think you can only have up to a certain amount of minutes of video at a time. But if you're making just like short little advertisements or short little promotions, that's not really an issue. And same with Animoto. Like Animoto is good for presentations and good for like video advertisements and promotional videos and materials. It's super simple to use. The free version does come with the Animoto branding on it. Um, but depending on how you feel about it, that may be something that you're willing to overlook. But also, it's not a super expensive program to upgrade anyway. And it is very, very easy to create really solid promotional videos for your library using Animoto. um, Prezi is it's for presentations, and it's not just your typical slideshow. It's an interactive, very visually engaging presentation. Um, and there are several different ways you can go about it. And I think now they've got it to where their free version lets you do more than just the Prezi design area that they had. I think you can do more like video elements in it as well. So, I mean, it's got a pretty solid free version of it to use. Same with Powtoon. It is all about like animated presentations, and you can make some really cute advertising and promo videos with those. You can do a lot of different things with Powtoon. Its free version is very limited. I think that one you're limited to 3 minutes, and you're limited in a lot of elements you're allowed to use. But especially if you just need to kind of put something short together, Powtoon's free version is definitely something you could utilize. And then SlidesGo. When you do need to create a slideshow, definitely look into SlidesGo and Slides Carnival, but especially SlidesGo. It has tons and tons and tons of slide decks that are editable, that are free to download, and that are absolutely gorgeous. So those are just a few like additional tools, and I'm going to have some more tools besides these in the resource guide for you as well. Now, some other ideas and resources for where to go from here. This is by no means an exhaustive list, but I have lots of tools and resources for you that I will be putting in the notes for the video. But this is just a list of some that are particularly useful. So some content ideas. I've covered a lot of these in some of the other videos I've done for this series, but these are ideas that are good for pretty much any of your social media channels in some way or another, whether you are doing like a whole bunch of book reviews, or you're doing like community news, or a big long like patron recognition kind of write up. You can do those for your blog and then link them on your social media pages. You can do all kinds of book displays and other media displays on your social media channels, polls and contests, celebrating holidays and anniversaries. And again, people love behind the scenes content when it comes to seeing, the librarians be goofy and funny and actually like real people with real personalities who, work and do more than just sit behind the desk and read, which seems to be the idea that a lot of people have of librarians these days. And I laugh every time because I don't know about y'all, but I have never managed to read less than since I became a librarian, because there's always so much to do. And you definitely want to show people what you guys are doing, not just so they see that you're real people, but so they do have an idea of what it takes to keep the library going and how much you care about your patrons, that you put all of this work into making sure things are good for them. So those are just some general content ideas for your social media channels and your other marketing channels. And these are just some resources to look into as far as library marketing goes. These last three, the Content Marketing Institute, Social Media Examiner, and Social Media Today, are all related to social media marketing in general, but they are extremely useful and they all keep really, really up to date on current social media trends and on changes to social media platforms. The Libraries and Social Media Facebook group is very useful. You can ask tons of questions on there. You'll get a lot of resources and a lot of great ideas on there, and people can help you workshop ideas that you have, and you can, ask them if there's maybe a better way to go about it. TechSoup, I've linked to not just the website, but their libraries tag, because while TechSoup is like an overall kind of tech and IT company, they do have a tag purely for library related content that's very useful. And then kind of the holy grail of what you need to be paying attention to if you want to learn about library marketing is Super Library Marketing. It's Angela Hirsch and her website. She not only has tons of blog posts and other resources, but she has a YouTube channel where she does regular videos on, social media platform updates and social media strategies. She gives shout outs to libraries who are doing really cool things so that you guys can see them as well. And she speaks at a lot of library conferences. She's excellent. Please go look at her website. It is the number one tool that you can have in your corner as far as library marketing goes. And that is it. Again, my name is Kayla Merton Gant. I am the Continuing Education Coordinator for the Mississippi Library Commission. This is my email and my phone number. You can always email or call if you have any questions. And I will be, in some way or another, attaching the links that are in this presentation and the other presentations in this series, as well as additional links that I didn't even mention in these videos. I will be attaching those to the video notes, so look below for those. Thank you.